Hello everybody, welcome along to JACKOCAR F2 here. We're ready for the first and second rounds of the season. I wasn't sure what I was going to call it, we're just going to call it round 1 if Jacko gets annoyed at me, well, that's a shame. Very light PlayStation, it's only me in the commentary box tonight. As you know, Owen Wyatt's here, been here since the start, and very much looking forward to covering F2 for the first time, I believe, in my commentary. At least for a full season anyway. And we start off here in Bahrain. And as you can already see, we're going to be doing a one-shot qualifying, so we are abandoning the usual system and going straight to one-shot qualifying, which is going to be nearly impossible to follow. I'll try though. It's always quite difficult. You've got to guess which one's going to be first before we start. And as you see, we've got quite a large grid. You can see Jacko's in there. You can see Jacko's in there. So we have got to root for him, I guess, or else he'll sack me. But yes, this is the start of the F2 season. Here in JACKOCAR. Something different to bridge the gap between the F1 seasons, and let's say it's the first time we're doing this. So we've used the F2 cars before for open lobbies and stuff, and it's been quite fun. So Brian was looking forward to seeing how this all turns out. And I'm being pestered for links now, so I should probably start sending important people, links. And listen to that, the sound of F2 cars. It's a different one, isn't it? The F1 gave us a pretty good job of them, although it is a bit annoying that they are still the 2019 ones, as you might have noticed. So we'll just stick with Dexter, actually. We'll just stick with Dexter, and we'll see where he ends up. And like I say, one-shot qualifying, so that means that it's the only lap we're going to get today. 18 people in the lobby, a few new names, a few familiar ones. You know the drill at this point with how we work. We get pretty high numbers, and happy to see we're still doing that once again. So we're watching Dexter then, we're on board. Like I say, this is a 2019 F2 car, so it is slightly different. Khalifa currently topping the timing sheets, but you can see it's constantly changing. We've already lost Risky from the session. And I believe from what we were seeing earlier that the pole time, we're expecting it to be around the 1 minute 38, which for Bahrain, of course, is quite slow. If you consider how quickly F1s are going around, and especially how quickly they're going to go around the outer circuit this weekend. Can't wait for that, it's going to be a fantastic event, that one. But, oh, look at Dexter sliding around. He was getting himself up the grid, he was up to P8 there. That little slide might have cost him a few tenths of a second. You can see they're about 10 seconds slower than the F1s already for that little sector than you'd expect one of the proper quick ones. And he'll lose yet more time on this back straight, just how slow the cars are. So it'll be interesting as West leaves the session. As an MP Motorsport out of the game already. Hopefully he can come back for the first of 2 races. Of course there are 2 races, so if he does miss the first one, the feature race, then it's not the end of the world. But it looks like Arnaud's on pole at 1 minute 38.9, and this is the problem. Look at this, you can't switch through people. And I saw Wace's name go to the top. Well listen, we know he's a good go-karter, but we know he's not a very good F1 or F2 driver. So I'll be very disappointed if his name stays top, which it does, and that might require a restart already, because that is incorrect. He doesn't get 4 points. The pole sitter gets 3 points, and that is Arnaud in the Cyber Junior team. So he is on pole. I'm sure we'll sort that all out. Blame Codemasters as per usual. But yeah, Arnaud gets 3 points then for that pole position. So after the disappointment of losing out on the JACKOCAR F1 Championship, Arnaud wants to come in all guns blazing and win the F2 Championship. And yes, I mean, it's obviously fantastic to see that Wace is topping the timing sheet, but I'm hoping there's a way around this. Although I do doubt there is. It's a bit like those glitches from back in F1 2010, where you'd do a flashback in qualifying and it would stick you on pole position by 6 seconds or something. It was something silly like that. They have got full wets out there in one of the garages. I don't think they'll be needed very much, though. This is certainly a dry track, as you might be able to tell. We're also in Bahrain. Right then, so I don't think there's any way of getting Waste to the back of the grid. Really, because he wasn't even at the back of the grid, was he? He was in the mid-pack, then he left. So I don't know how they're going to do this, whether he's going to pull over to the side on the race start or not. And it's not a visual glitch for me, because a few people have seen it, so you can see that is not a Cyber Junior team on the front of the grid. That is indeed Campos. Now, he can go as slow as he wants here, Waste, but that's not really going to help his cause very much, because that's not how it works. He's going to have to do this on the race start as well. He can fall all the way down to the back, but it's not going to put him where he should be, which is a bit irritating, this. Now, I guess while he lets these people through, not that there's much point, we will go through all the drivers that are here today, and yeah. We'll just ignore Waste in the situation. Here he is. He'll end up where he ends up. Arnold then, he is in the Cyber Junior team car, which is quite weird to see because obviously in 2020 that's a Chabrus. But since the 2020 cars aren't there yet, can't really do much about that. Khalifa is in an ART. He's in Nikita Mazepin's one. People love Nikita Mazepin, did you know? Pete, he's in a Trident. Can't say I know which one that is. Might well be a Lacey's one, that'll be. NK Born, that is one of the Premas. I'm not going to be very good at guessing these. We'll stop trying to guess, but I have a feel now I'd be Schumacher's one. That's Giotto's car, it's pretty obvious for Brandon. He loves his yellow cars, doesn't he? Vitinho, he is in Schubert's car, or Markelov. Who else drove that car? Was it just him and Markelov? Anyway, he's in the 19. Dexter is in Jordan King's MP Motors, probably know about that one. Mr. John, he's in Nick de Vries's ART, the championship winning car, remember, last season. Storm, he's in one of Joe's car, the sort of successful car, but sort of not at the same time. Got a few pole positions. Corey in Matthew Sheets' Carlin. Yuri in the Trident seat that didn't know if it wanted to be Sato's or whose car it was in the end. Jacko's in Delatraz's car, we all know about Delatraz. Baza is in Manuel Carrer's car and Isakan's car, I believe, as well. Dark Shadow, he will be in... who he actually drove that car? Calderon, wasn't it? Not a very good day for him then, he's going to be in a pretty slow car. Golile's car there, I believe that for Red Mat, and then the two Dams at the back. They won the team's championship in the real life F2, you know, with Cam and Risky are actually going to be at the back of the grid. So, I'm expecting big things from these lot. So what is Waste going to do then? Because obviously, Waste will be thinking, I'm on pole, I didn't expect to be on pole, I really shouldn't be on pole, but he is on pole. And it's a grid lineup for the feature race, the 50% long feature race here in Bahrain. We're just waiting for those lights now. It's Waste on the right hand side, Arnold on the left. We don't quite know what Waste is going to do. He's not going to move, that's what he's going to do. That's a horrendous start for him, and that's going to be really difficult for people trying to get by. He still shows at the top of the timing sheet, so he must be lagging a little bit, but that's certainly Arnold leading into turn one. There's a lot of front wing damage, and there's a few cars on the inside of Waste already. He's already fallen down to third place, but look at that, there's more contact. So much lag going on there, and Baz is retired. We've got yellow flags. I can't tell you what the yellow flag is because they've been telling me. I got to look at the boards. There isn't any. This doesn't really help my cause. It's a full safety car. It's a full safety car, so we've got penalties galore, we've lost Vitinho, people are leaving left, right and centre. Ah, my goodness me. I think... Something tells me this is going to need a restart. We've got utter carnage. We need a restart, folks. We'll have that coming right up for you, because that is chaos. Baza was blocking the safety car, and most of the grid's got penalties. What a chaotic start then to the F2 season. Well, we'll just call it a de facto red flag. For some reason the game wouldn't show me what type of safety car we were getting now, which is annoying. That's an issue that will need to be addressed, but that's a kind of chaotic start, but I have a feeling that was... well, we've lost more now. It's going all pear-shaped. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Right, can we just forget that that first 10 minutes of the stream happened? Because I'm about as confused as you are, if you couldn't tell. I had no clue what was going on. But, yeah. Ah, well. We have issues. Happens. We'll be fine. We'll move on. We'll grow and be better. But it is a bit annoying. So this is not the session we want to be in, I don't think. We'll wait for the invites to come through for the second start. Surprisingly, for me, it wasn't Vitinho who caused all of the chaos, because he's the one with a donkey broadband being in Brazil. We always mentioned it a lot on One Hub when I was the commentator there. Failed to join the session, I've already left. Wow. But yeah, we mentioned his internet quite a lot, but once it wasn't him that caused the problem, so that's good news for him. eSports, awful, awful, awful. As in, I'm awful at it. I'm hopeless. But anyway, I've now got to do some filler. So while we do that filler, I should probably get some interesting stuff to tell you. But first, let's see what the chat are saying, because I know there was a few people in the chat probably just as confused as me. Yes, there's people just as confused as me. Well, it's good to know I'm not the only one who is completely and utterly stumped. Let's, while we wait then, let's go through the calendar. So basically, each country we go to, there are 5. That is Bahrain, Azerbaijan, Austria, Great Britain, and Belgium. Obviously we have the F2 format, so we do a feature race and a sprint race. They'll both be done on the same night, and they're both 50% length. And the points system for that is a lot more simplified than it was in the JACKOCAR season. We got no stage points, no jokers, none of that jazz. We just have pretty basic point system. Fastest lap is only 1 point, pole position is 3 points, and then you get points for all 20 drivers in the first feature race, and then points for the 12 or top 12 in the sprint race. I'll quickly run through the points now. So for the feature race, if you win you get 25, then it goes down 20, 17, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. There's 3 ones. It's important that you might get one of those ones. And then in the sprint race, 20 points for the win, then it's 18, 16, 14, 12, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that gets you down to 12. It's extremely basic. 10 races, whoever has the most points at the end of it wins the championship. Makes it a little bit easier for me to try and understand, which is mainly why Jacko gets to race now, so he doesn't have to carry me through these streams. Mind you, we will see him at some point, I'm sure, in the commentary box. It's a shame we couldn't get Jake in here, but he had issues with his mic, so... Oh well, what can you do? What can you do? I see he's in the chat there, so he's doing something. He still showed up, so fair enough. We have been heckling Ginger Andy. Got to try and get him back in, because obviously he's been our guest commentator for quite a while now. Him and Austin potentially get them both in, but look, we've got to do a lot on negotiating. Jacko's great. Khalifa, mind you, might be the one doing all the business. Yeah, I think he's the one that had the idea to do rolling commentators. It's basically a revolving door. One commentator per week gets to enjoy the sound of my PlayStation as I start screaming at F2 cars going new, etc. Just gonna mute everyone just in case they can hear me. I always a bit paranoid they can hear me. I'm sure they can't. It's nothing against you all, okay? It's really nothing against you. I like it. I like you. Also, Jamie's not even here, so why would I have a reason to not like you? But yeah, we're just waiting for everyone to get into the cars, have the grid sorted out properly. Not too sure where they're going to put Wes, but I'm sure we'll find out in due course. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the F2s, because I think Arnold had put a clip up. I think it was him and Khalifa. I really hope it was. I think it was those two racing. It was basically a bit of practice for this. They were having a wheel-to-wheel scrap here at Bahrain, and it was pretty impressive. It was really good wheel-to-wheel stuff, because the cars are a bit slower than the F1s, and it means it's much better to race side by side through the S's, for example, where if you do that in the F1 you're asking for an airplane accident, but here you can do that. Right, we're just waiting then. Waiting and waiting. The good news is it can't get much worse than this. Waste has already had his weekly mess it all up for everybody, and so that means afterwards we can just focus on the racing, which is always nice. Is what we're all here for, isn't it? It really is a very light PlayStation, isn't it? I mean, I tried for quite a while to get the PS5, but I've sort of given up on it now. It's got to the point where I just couldn't be bothered sitting in queues, waiting forever. It's not even my money I'd be paying, it's my parents' money. It just feels like you'd be taking a bit of advantage, you know? So I've got to stick with PS4, let it... The fan has to wear itself out at some point, doesn't it? But, yeah, we're just sort of at the back of the grid now by the looks of it. Last few positions. Don't know where Waste is going to be put in. If he gets that pole position, there's that'll be interesting for the points. Because obviously, with JACKOCAR it's a lot more lenient, isn't it? I mean, you can see there, simulation damage, no ghosting. You know, they really like to encourage craziness, and craziness is what we're looking at getting. Just want to look back at that crash, because I didn't really see all of it. We just sort of cut, didn't we, to the exit of turn 3 to see absolute carnage. There must have been 4 or 5 cars just piled up there. Yeah, they all just sort of piled it up. I wasn't even really thinking that they'd be binning it, but no, they all were binning it. And the grid, I believe, is sorted. I hope you're liking my master rank, by the way. If I tried to maintain that now, having not played the game properly for so long, I'd actually kill someone. It's I'm never going to do an online race again. Not a competitive one, anyway. I'm not even kidding. That master rank is going to have to stick with me now for the rest of this, because it's a reminder of that one time I thought I could league race in this game. And look at that. S is everywhere. Just, beautiful. Don't want to look at this. Do we want to look at the stats? I don't know how many races I've done in this game. I've done quite a few. It's not too bad. It's okay. I mean, I haven't quite got a great. I haven't got a good win, not win ratio, because I've completed 107 and I haven't won even half of them. I've placed 10 full wins. Oops. Oh dear. That's not very good, is it? Let's actually use ranked, probably the better place. Oh, look at that, that's better. I've completed 35 races and 124 of them ranked. It's quite quick to get up there. Right, is that enough padding? Nope, it's not enough padding yet. I can't flex too much, because I haven't got enough to flex. Ah, we've got TC. Well, would you look at that? Mahavir himself has turned up. Granny is in the building. Yes, he's driving Ray Gunnifen's car. That is fantastic. We all love that. Finally, he's embracing the disappointment that me and Jack have had from him in the F1 season and decided he's just going to go into the worst car, or worst driver's car anyway. And, yeah, it means anything he does now is an instant improvement, because it's not last place. Mind you, we do have Dark Shadow in there as well, and Calderon's car. We do have a bit of competition for who's the worst here. So, plenty of that. But we're going to try again with this feature race. I believe it was 16 laps. I just hope we get to the end of them this time and not cause any accidents. Would be useful. I've also spent all of my formation lap build up, so that might give us a bit of a chance to bring back everyone's favourite helmet review and tyre review as well. Last time I sort of suspected we were going to have to restart anyway, so I wasn't really paying too much attention to the tyres. I wonder how everyone's going to look on those, because it's pretty bog standard one stop for all these. We don't have that 2-stop rule. It's a limited selection of tyres anyway. It wouldn't really make much sense to put the 2-stop rule in, especially for a sprint race. I mean, you don't even have to stop once in one of those. So yeah, sort of how they work. It really is. It's like, you know, JACKOCAR, we have to do it differently, don't we? We have to say, right, this is going to be more like a proper F1 league, like the bigger ones that aren't always as different. But there's still that twist of F2, isn't it? Jacko loves to switch it up a little bit. And Wes is holding us up again. If he leaves, then I'm not going to be very happy with him, because there's no ghosting. If they're stuck with it in front of the grid again, I'm going to smash something. Come on, Wes, man. Any time today, like, I mean, we don't have, well, we do have all day, I guess. Like, he's right at the back there anyway, so if he does have any issues, we'll be okay. And we get to go through the grid again, but let's actually look at the tyres this time, because that's probably actually useful information. You can see who the grid is. I don't really think I need to spell it out to you again, I hope. So it's mediums for the top 4, Jacko and TC. So that's the tyres, and then the rest are on the softs. And, well, actually, yeah, that's sort of where we are with those. So, helmet review. You see, the F1 2020 helmets are pretty horrendous, aren't they? I mean, they're not really very good. There's not really much you can do with them. It's only this design that Khalifa and Pete have that you can sort of mess about with. MK1's really into the wall. He must have got distracted by the purple. I wonder if that's from last week's race in Brazil. Brandon with the Brute Racing 1. Tino orange in a pink car. Need I actually say anything to that? I think that's what it spells itself out. I do want to throw up. Dexter, not much nicer. Oh dear, we're going to get into bullying drivers again. I'm devolving back to my 2018 voice. Mr. John, it's got that, yeah. See what I mean? It's a good design, but it's just, you can't really do much with them. 2019 has such better designs, man. It makes me sad. You can see why I dropped this segment now. Look at these. They're the templates. We're going to blame the templates for these, okay? We're not going to blame the drivers. It's not their fault. Because they're really limited, aren't they? Dark Shadow, he doesn't even bother. He's just gone with a very basic design. You know what? That might be an inspired decision. Okay, Wes is lagging a lot. That's bad news, everyone. So if you see a car upside down by turn 1, you know who's caused it. And yeah, just to confirm, there is TC. He is in the grid. He is at the very back of the grid. And does that really surprise anyone? You can see there he is in Matthew Raikkonen's car. Although saying that, he's ahead of the 2 Dan's cars, who decide they haven't bothered. And they want to start at the back anyway. There's a car off. There's a car off. Now who is that? That's Yuri, is it? Oh, we've lost count. Who is that? Oh, it's Pete. Ah, it's Pete. Well, how has he done that then? And Wes has been disqualified. I don't think Wes was responsible for that one. They were at completely other ends of the grid. Oh, it's another one. And another one. Now Cam left the session. I don't think he's going to be able to get back, so we might have lost him before the race starts, but they're already trying to crash on the formation lap. It's bad news. I think that's the pole sitter. Pole sitter's a bit late to the party, isn't he? This is giving us worrying signs that the driver in 1st and 3rd are last on the grid. But they've arrived now, thank goodness. And when those lights go off, they'll be racing hopefully proper this time. Wes is left again, I'm really surprised. Lights are on, Arnold's on the right, and Khalifa is on the left. And the JACKOCAR F2 season is away here in Bahrain. Looks like a decent start from Arnold at the front. Looks like Khalifa might be the one under some pressure, because Pete seemed to have an alright start. But look at the guys going 4, 5, 6 wide at the back. And oh my goodness me, who is that in the Arden? That's unbelievable. That could go so wrong, but he hasn't hit anybody. And we're all going south the hill. Plenty of contact. Look how slow they're going. Honestly, it's like watching a safety car, but it's F2 cars. They're going to be this slow. It's going to take a while to get used to all this, but they are racing the R away. It looks like we're having no dramas, thank goodness. And we can get, okay, that's Khalifa. Khalifa's gone. I had to say it, didn't I? I've cursed him completely. Has he got any damage, or has he just went on his own? Because again, when we tried these F2 cars, they were quite difficult to control. That's we said, medium runners have not had the most favourable start to this race. MK Bourne's down a bit as well. There's Cam's car that isn't in the race anymore. TC on the mediums is probably the best one. Oh dear, well I was going to say he'd had the best start on them, but he's now gone and stuffed it into the back of Cam. So that's not gone too well either. I think we really need to stop cursing people right now. Corey, last time I think he beat his best finish of 17th or whatever, but I think winning the race in fairness. It was Abu Dhabi, wasn't it? The charity race. Was that the charity race? No, it wasn't a charity race, sorry, that was the All-Star race. Either way he won it, and he's just moved up to P4 in this race. Remember, no DRS until the start of lap 3 on that run up to turn 4, but as you might be able to see, Arnold he might not need that too much. He's clear. And look, we've got plenty of fighting out of that final corner. Lots of slipstreaming going on. These guys are all going to be very close to each other in towards turn 1. Brandon's got a superb run, and this is going to be very interesting to see how they all get through this first corner. We get a good camera angle of it, but here we go. Brandon's in the middle. I think Mr. John sort of dropped off this a little bit, and you can see Brandon nearly losing the car on the way up the hill, and Matinho having to let him go to avoid any sort of collisions. And Brandon in P8, Redman stays P7. He was obviously at the head of all that. MK Bourne ahead of Mr. John, who was up in 6th place a few moments ago, but has now fallen down quite considerably, and he's maybe going to keep falling at this rate. He's really struggling for grip, struggling for traction, struggling for confidence. Still got yellow flags at the back, but look at that. Bullied out of the way by MK Bourne. It's a harsh world, this. But the order's fixed itself now, by the way. I might have misidentified some positions, but oh, that's a car off. Red map. It is my 5th place he's in. So you can shuffle all those guys in that fight. We were watching a fight 2 each, I guess. Brandon in Luca Giotto's car, and you can see some fighting up there ahead. Obviously, Storm wanting to catch the medium shod Carlin. It is Carlin, isn't it? Or is it Trident? Trident. I'll get it eventually. Of Pete. I'm watching the Carlin. I'm literally on board with the Carlin here. I should know who's on what. Either way, Corey is now catching up and trying to pass Pete, who's on the mediums. We don't really know how these tires are going to act, but you'd expect there to be a rather consistent difference in lap times between these softs and hot mediums. I just wish we could actually see the gaps. I know Codemasters don't know how to make a game, but this is ridiculous, man. We need to see what's going on, and now we can. So we're going to get the first DRS action of this race then, on the way up to turn 4. Arnold can just ride off into the distance with it because Pete really struggles, and there goes Corey. He gets that DRS, the extra boost, that rear wing wide open, and Storm just sits back and watches. He hopes that Pete's going to keep this one on the inside and hopefully give him an opening to come by. Pete though is all new mediums. You probably should remember that. He's not really going to fight this one too hard. He'll be on the better tires at the end of the race, you'd imagine. And Pete then does fall down into 3rd place. Will Storm have a chance of getting by as well? I'm sure he'll have a little go on the next DRS zone, and there's a chance. Yellow flags, there is Dexter by the looks of it, has gone off. He rejoins in the S's, so that's not been a very good start for him. Has he got front wing damage? Was he in a fight with someone? There's certainly damage, and might well have been in contact with someone he might have been side by side with. Certainly something going on up there. Baza being overtaken by Risky by the looks of it. I don't know what the context is for all that, but there's a bit of changes in there. Jacko up to 10, but then having to let the car through. Possibly another one as well. Matinho's got a big X on. There's EG disconnected. No, look at that. There's Baza off the track. We're really struggling to keep these cars on the road at the moment. We're only 3 laps in. We're going to keep this on the road, folks, and not bin this all so early, because you've got the sprint race as well. A bad feature race directly affects your sprint race. The top 8 get reversed. So right now, you'd be looking at Yuri sitting on that reverse grid pole position, and we've lost the flaming gaps again. Khalifa, having went off on lap 1, still struggles with the rear end, and look at that, we've got some pit stop there for Yuri, and Mr. John has stuck himself up into the reverse grid pole. Surely Khalifa's not going to let him stay there. Down the inside, and that is back to the reverse grid pole for Khalifa. But yeah, Yuri was the very earliest driver hit for some new tyres, and I'm going to have to assume that this is going to be the mediums. It's the only thing he has, and you can see how slow these pit stops are. Only one man per wheel, of course, so much slower pit stops. He's been stuck there for a while, but he's away now. Who is the host? I would have thought Dexter was the host. I thought he was alright. Or is it Pete or someone as the host with? I don't know, but we've got some side by side anyway. Jacko and Risky. Jacko on the inside. Must be eyeing up Mr. John as well as Coutinho as well gets close to the back of the ART, the championship winning car of F2 2019. No pressure. He doesn't even have the excuse of being in Mazepan's car, because Mazepan's car, which was rubbish last year, is already miles ahead of him. So he had a number 4 car struggling his way around, and he's really going to be under some massive pressure. I feel if you're watching some ball with Jacko will be quite the experience. Jacko, who's used to commentating in his position. The last time he tried to race was in Belgium for the charity race, and that was a charity race, and he ended it in the wall multiple times. Are we going to see some pitters here? Oh, I bet we were looking at pitters, and Jacko hadn't quite recognised that Coutinho was trying to pit. Safety car out, and that might have just given Jacko a golden opportunity. But remember, we can actually pit under safety car, so ignore that. But that is just drivers not being aware of their surroundings and not being aware that people are looking to pit. We're in that pit stop phase, and we saw that Yuri had kicked off the pit stops, and surprised others didn't see that one coming. And I'm surprised that Jacko and the team didn't really have more awareness about them. And Jacko stuck some softs on. Is that right? Is that meant to be soft? Was he even wanting to pit? That's probably a better question. Yeah, he's on medium, just making sure. So it is the right tyre. I was too busy focusing on the crash, I forgot which tyres he was on. But that's full safety car then. Jacko will be on those softs at the end of the race. That might tell me then that he maybe wasn't wanting to pit. And it's Coutinho, he's cut across the pit, and they just haven't realised that, you know, they've got other people around them, those two. Probably more a Coutinho problem than it is a Jacko problem, but yeah, still, dramatic stuff then. Safety car out on lap 5, and it'll close the pack up again. Arnold, is this good news or bad news for him? Because he has to now probably pit, he's got no choice, but he'll be going on to the softs, which might degrade at the end of the race. Same issue that Jacko has, and Jacko does have a penalty. How many seconds does it show us? I forget how to do this. There we go, he's got 5 seconds. That might well be for speeding or even for the contact. Arnold does stay out. Oh dear, that's... I guess you sort of have to say they got no choice on these mediums, but they're a bit doomed. They are a bit doomed. Because all these guys on the softs, they're going to be pitting, and they're not going to have to pit again. This whole safety car is going to bunch the pack up. And you can't pit, this is legal. They're all pitting, it's legal pit stops. We're not on the F1 rules. TC stays, I guess he's still got a smashed up front wing. That'd be a miss, but I think he has. So he's decided he's not gonna change it. Very surprising, that. Dark Shadow also staying out. So some people pick and some people decide no. Maybe it is too early for even mediums to go to the end from here. We just don't know. It's the first time doing these cars. They could last forever, those mediums, or they couldn't last at all. And Dark Shadow, we watched him down the main straight. He was speeding. That'll annoy him, that. Of course, but yeah. So, drivers who haven't pitted yet. Dark Shadow, TC, Khalifa, Pete and Arnold. Is it a mistake for these guys, the top 4 on the mediums? Is it a mistake for them to stay out? Well, we'll find out in due course. And West has been ignoring the yellow flag. He just wants to go home, I think, at this point. But if it is a mistake for these guys to stay out, then Corey is going to be the net race leader, and he might end up leading by some distance. But we know how chaotic starts and restarts can be on this game, especially with this grid. And it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if that order were to change around a little bit. Red Matt will certainly be loving this opportunity in his KFC shot Prima. Look at all that KFC. Doesn't give me much of an appetite though, I can't lie. But anyway, we're just waiting for the whole pack to catch up, because if you might have noticed, the leader's here, and Wes is here, he's in turn 1. And even after that, Dexter's crossing over. The leaders are just across on the right hand side, and Dexter's halfway around the lap, so this might take quite a while, this safety car. It might have another lap or two at this, because, I mean, look at it, only the top 4 have actually caught the safety car. So the safety car must be going to F1 pace, and the F2 car is obviously going to be struggling to catch up. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, of course, if Codemasters were so lazy that they didn't sort of make this a bit easier, but listen, it's Codemasters, what are you expecting? So Dark Shadow into the pit lane. This will be for his pit stop, not for his drive-through penalty. You can't take a drive-through penalty under the safety car. And this is a lovely F2 pit stop for you. They're now going to stand there and just wait for a while, and then he teleports out of the box, he's back onto the fast lane. Alright, let's see the safety car again. How's the train looking? How much have we got? If any leave, we've got down to Storm, and that's it so far. Bit of lag. Red Matt falls behind Storm. He won't enjoy that much. By the power of KFC, may you get back past your rival. And Storm's out of session. Well, that felt a bit inevitable. I do wonder if the host is causing some issues here, whoever it is. Because it's been a bit of a disconnect fest so far, this one. 3 penalties for that, by the way. We can obviously check those. 3 drive-throughs and then the 1 5-second penalty for Jacko. And unfortunately for the 3 drive-through guys, they're all at the back already. It doesn't make their life much easier. No, we're going to get the safety car in this lap, or we're going to stay for another one. I think we're going to stay for 1 more lap. Hopefully by then the pack will have caught up. Because, yeah, I think with Arnold and the rest of the top 4, longer this stays out, the more they must be starting to regret their decision, because at the end of this lap, we'll be hitting the halfway point of the race already. So, especially TC, I'm amazed TC hasn't pitted. With that front wing damage, it's a no-brainer to pit. But I guess, not for him. Now, Storm's back. Luckily for him, we're on the safety car, so his car will stay in position. So he can just hopefully go back to what he was doing. And Wes, penalty for multiple warnings, and to the speeding penalty, of course he had one of those, didn't he? And he also, of course, has a drive-through penalty, and is miles behind. He's doing flat out laps right now. Flat out, absolutely to the limit, and he's still 23 seconds off the nearest car, who himself is 10 seconds off Dexter. He's got still a massive gap to catch up. I have a feeling he might get left behind on this restart, because I don't think they're going to want to keep this thing open for 1 more lap, just for 1 car. But we'll see, because everyone else is caught out now. Dark Shadow is now caught to the pack. And we're losing valuable laps. We've lost a quarter of the race just to a safety car. Look at that, Pete and Khalifa swapping positions there. Messing about a little bit. Safety car's now coming in. Wes is going to be slightly panicking. He is full throttle, believe it or not. It looks a bit slow, doesn't it? As Pete ignores the yellow flag. I said they were messing about a little bit, and he's been punished for it. Wes is still not caught up. And Arnold's away. Arnold is gone. We are going racing again here in Bahrain. And Wes has been left behind. And Arnold has caught the completely by surprise, but looks at it because he's got a pretty decent gap already. And TC will continue to stay without a battered front wing. Any fighting then towards turn 1, it just doesn't seem like they're able to follow too well until you got a restart. It's very much single file down towards turn 1. So let's see how Corey's going to get on there, because he will be enjoying the extra with these newer mediums already as we get yellow flags. That's Yuri, who was in the running for that reverse grid pole position, now down to 17th position. No damage, but looks like it might have been just a clumsy spin. These F2 cars have not got as much grip as the F1 cars, and they might still be trying to get used to that. And Khalifa wants to have a little look, as does Corey right around here. So turn in, that's a brilliant move to get himself to P4. Khalifa all over the back of P, who's really struggling right now. He is in Giuliano Alesi's car, to be fair, to be flavoured, but gotta find a way through, and fast. Look at that, we got Red Matt. Now he's trying to pass TC as well. He's obviously trying to keep up to the back of Corey, isn't he? Because he senses, maybe as I do, that Corey's the net race leader and he should really easily win it if he stays at the front. He's got to be careful just to get himself caught in any accidents or have any silly spins. And Redman not quite close enough. We've got a car off. It's Dark Shadow, struggling a lot out there. Has he got any punctures, or is he just been recovering? He's just recovering. That's what it is. Now back up. Look at this, trying to so side by side at the pits, and Pete was speeding in his desperation to stay ahead. TC also sped from the front wing downwards without really much of a surprise. And NK Bourne, he's on softs, remember, to the end. The lead driver on those newer softs, and he is up into 5th place, a net 4th if he can hold it. Obviously when Arnold pits, and look at that, you've also got Risky being overtaken by Brandon, who himself now wants to have a go with NK Bourne. There's no DRS left, there's no DRS yet. But Brandon will still want to have a little look around the outside and maybe try and switch back on the exit. But as I said earlier, they can go side by side for here. Mr. John is, by the way, fighting away with Jacko. That's from reverse grid pole, but actually the guy losing in this fight will be the one getting that reverse grid pole, because of course Jacko will move up one when Ryan pits. That sounds a bit like fixing the race to me, but I'm not an expert. But the league is named after him. Named by him, after him. Actually, yeah, good figure. But oh, he's got back past again. He's detected the ice. I saw the fixing coming. He's broke his front window in the process. By the looks of it, Jacko, I saw some blue front wing. Well, that blue front wing isn't on his car, so he's being overtaken by Mr. John again. And side by side through 12, the car understeers a lot through there. Luckily, no collision. Corey has not shaken Redman off his DRS range, and Arnold surely's got a pit now, and he's going to be kicking himself. Why didn't he pit under safety car? He must have forgotten the rule or something that you can pit, because it's cost him right now the chance to win the race. A race that he was looking pretty dominant in, but he's going to have to go for a 6-lap run on these new softs and try and win the race on them. Or at least try and get up to that reverse grid pole in P8. Even that though looks like way away from him. It'll be very interesting to see how this one ends up. And look at this, we've got NK Bourne, we've got Brandon there. It's so close to contact here, just about leaving the space. And on the inside, Brandon, is there going to be contact? They'll understeer out. Oh, look at that, nearly hitting the side pod there. He really wants to have a go there, but Brandon didn't have the grip that NK Bourne had on those softs. And it's kept him behind for now. So we've got to have a little look at the leaders though, haven't we? Because cut that gap down to half a second, and that slide's going to cut it down even more. And Redman has a real chance to go for the race lead here with just 5 to go at the end of this one. Can you go round the outside into turn 11? I'd be very surprised if he can do it. Well, he really wants to have a good go of it, doesn't he? Is there a way through maybe into turn 1 when he stays this close? The dirty air will affect him here, but as long as he keeps that within half a second, he'll be in that golden zone to have a little try into turn 1, and Corey will be feeling the pressure. Remember, there's no fuel mix or ERS or anything. This is just driving skill that will get these guys ahead of the other. And here we go, DRS activated, but a slide at the final corner for Redman. Six him a bit too far out of that half a second that I was saying about, but we can even just set himself up here for run into turn 4. That might even be enough itself. So we'll close into turn 1. We know Corey struggled on the traction out of turn 10 earlier. No such issues at the moment though for him. He kept it all pointed in the right direction. No sliding, no loss of grip. The Redman will still catch him and close the gap. Shows himself on the inside to try and unnerve his rival. Try and force him into a Sebastian Vettel style spin here. And well, he hasn't quite got the spin, but he's got him all over the curb, struggling for grip. The pressure is on here in Bahrain. I got 6 seconds as well. But, speaking of seconds, Redman's just got a 3-second time penalty. That might cost him, and Corey will see that penalty. He'll be feeling very relieved about it, because that was a lot of pressure going on his shoulders. Right now, Baza is your pole sitter for the second race. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Because he should pass Jacob when his penalty gets added. I wonder what Mr. John will do. Mr. John, does he let Jacko go and let Jacko make his gap and try and hold Baza? Because they're playing with pole position here. There's got to be some tactics going into this fight, you know. And NK Bourne is right on the back of Storm here. Trying to get him into the final corner, not wise, or I should say the final 2 corners. Oh, they nearly made contact there. Brandon might be feeling encouraged by that. And we're going to have 2 Unite Virtuosis with a Prema in the middle. Which one's going to come out on top of the turn 1? Brandon's got a super run on his teammate. NK Board's already well clear him. And Brandon, sure he probably thought about a little dive up the inside, try and scare his rival out of the way. Decided not to do it. Oh, big slide though for NK Bourne. And look how slow he is up the hill now. And Brandon right into the toe. The outside line to turn 4, the overtaking line. He wants the cut back though. We've seen this before. NK Bourne has the better traction on those soft tires, but the traction won't last forever. Those tires will start to degrade. These are the same age of tire. You expect by the end of the race that Brandon would be the guy quicker and going for that podium position. Fascinating stuff here. Because NK Bourne looks a bit spent, doesn't he? He's struggling a lot. Who else is going to be having a chance here? Because I think Storm's going to have a chance, isn't he? Storm will have a chance if these two start fighting hard enough to end up making contact. Risky as well, possibly. Baza's doing all he needs though for this pole position. I don't think there's any possible way for Baza to lose it now. Because he's got no penalties. He's got how many seconds to Yuri? Effectively 8 seconds. And Jacko has got 8 seconds penalties as well. So Mr. John would have to, you know, fall 8 seconds behind Jacko. So Baza looks like he's on for pole. He's lost it. I've cursed him completely. But he should be able to recover. He should be, but we've got to come back to this because Brandon's just got up into the podium positions here. My goodness. Completely cursed him. I completely cursed poor Baza. He's still in pole position right now, but Arnold might snatch it off him. He probably will snatch it off him now. 3 to go, can he do it? Reminder of penalties. Yuri 3 seconds now would take it. Or would he actually? Yeah, he would take it, I think. It's fluctuating now. Jacko might still have it here. Oh! Because these two need to not lose. These two need to keep within the 8 seconds. Keep within the 8 seconds. And you're already within 3 seconds of Yuri. And that would technically mean that Arnold is coming through now for that reverse good pull. There he goes. We'll see the gap at the end, but Baza will be absolutely kicking himself with that, because it's cost him pole position. And you know, when you make that mistake and lose pole position, you don't just lose pole, you lose second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth, and you're going to fall all the way down. None of that reverse grid stuff matters after that. And now Baza might find himself under pressure from Khalifa as well. He might end up starting the next race in 13th or 12, I should say. Real shame that. Meanwhile, at the front, we've got 2 laps to go. Redknapp on the back of Corey. Doesn't really look too good though, does it for him? Any penalties? Or no, well, sorry, no penalties, but there's 2 warnings for Corey. Redknapp's going to have to be banking on those, hopefully leading to a penalty soon. We got yellows. Yellow flag for, oh, it's not Baza again, is it, on that final corner? Oh, it's all gone so wrong, and Jacko's into the pit lane. And there goes Pete past. Oh, what a shame this is. And this, well, this is Yuri pulling over to the right hand side. He's got the penalty though. Arnold looks like he's going to be taking the reverse grid pole position unless Khalifa can do something about it. He's going to have a Herculean performance now to get to the end. He's only got 2 laps to catch and then pass Arnold. But that's his task. Let's see if he can do it. Jacko is still in the pits. He's been in there for so long. The first sector's taken him nearly 50 seconds, and that's just to get him down to turn 1. Stop really doing it cripply. This is why we don't have that 2-stop rule. It just takes so long. My goodness, what a slow lap. Luckily though, Corey still not having to worry too much about this, and Redknapp, well, if he wants any chance of winning this race, he's got to launch. He's going to launch an attack now, but he's just not close enough. Even throwing one down the inside, risking damage, forcing Corey a bit wider than he might want. You know, pressures him into the penalty as Arnold picks up that reverse grid pole position, passing Yuri on the back straight. It looks all good though for Corey. Here comes Risky now, down towards turn 1. He wants 5th place. He's going to get 5th place if he can just complete the move. He didn't break as late as I was expecting though. He might well be going for that cut back up the hill. Storm taking his last to his corner cut surely before he starts getting into trouble with that. That's ridiculous. And side by side, Risky on the inside. Will he understeer out? Storm, doesn't really matter. He's gone too far wide, and Risky is into the top 5. So he hasn't let that disaster class of a Brazil race or USA short race let him down. He's had a good race in the back of the grid up there. But we've now got to come and focus on the top 2 as they head round. Quick check for fastest lap. It is Khalifa that has it at the moment with a 1 minute 40.7, but Jacko made that pit stop, so look up at him having a little look at the fastest lap as well. But even though Khalifa won't get that reverse grid pole, although there's still a chance, there's a slim opportunity for him, albeit a very small, very minuscule chance. It's still there, but here comes Corey in the Carlin of Nobihari Matsushita. Doesn't really matter whose car it is though, it's going to come across the line in P1, and Corey's the man who's going to deliver it. The first win of the season by 3.4 seconds after the penalties, and Redknapp steals the fastest lap at the finish. That gives Jacko some hope, surely being on those fresh tyres. So they are the 1-2, Corey, Redknapp. Brandon comes home, P3. NK Board just holds off Risky for P4, and Risky P5 and Storm 6. Mr. John comes up to the line, he's going to claim P6 now. I guess Storm had penalties. I don't think I'd even seen them. Arnold comes to the line and ends up in P8. Khalifa Knight, Fury 10. And that does mean that it is Arnold on pole for the second race as well as the first race. Hopefully it goes a bit better second time round. Pete has a penalty, so he might fall down behind Baza, who, like I say, had that in his hands but lost it cruelly after he spun not once but twice on the final corner. And we're just waiting for the rest to come across the line. But it is then Yuri finished in P10, so I don't know why I need to blow over telling me that. I've already said that, haven't I? It's Corey, that's what I need to be saying. That's better. Who wins the race. Red Matt second, making up 14 places and stealing the fastest lap. What a performance for him. That is very impressive, it has to be said. I'm sure he'll be absolutely thrilled with that feature. And, well, he gets 21 points for that, and Corey gets the 25 points for that. 21-25 for the top two. And we're still waiting for Dark Shadow. He'll be coming across the line momentarily. Here he is. Not a good start for BWT Arden, who finished last, 18th and 19th. And driver today, unsurprisingly, being Red Matt. So, that's the first race of the day. That was the feature race. Now we've got to think about this sprint race. So remember, do not leave yet. We've still got some cracking racing to come. And it should be very, very, very good indeed. But there, the champagne sprays. The team member of Carlin looking pleased, but he also looks like he's dying inside when he gets sprayed with the champagne. It's not even champagne, it's rose water. That's maybe why he's not so happy. But it was a British lockout as well for the top three. Actually, 6 of the top 7 were British as well. MK Born, the random German in the middle. So, order once again, it is Corey from Red Matt, Brandon, MK Born, Risky, Mr. John, Storm, Arnold, Khalifa, Yuri, Baza, Pete, Dexter, TC, Cam, Jacko, Wes, Dark Shadow and Vitinho. Arnold didn't pit under the safety car when it was out, should have done so, but will be on pole for the sprint race and try and win that one. Hopefully he has a better time of it. The safety car won't really mess his pistols up because there won't be any. And yes, just gotta wait now, I guess, for the next race to come up. It's a shame this, because with the F2 they never do Bahrain at night, so you don't really get the night race. So bit sad, but we had our dosage of night racing anyway, didn't we, in the F1 season? So we don't really need to complain too much. Just gotta wait for everyone to choose their tyres and choose their setups. Apparently, even though we're on presets, they still struggle with the setup because they can reset or switch around or just not do what you want it to do. So we've got to wait and make sure they're all good. Hopefully we get all the drivers in as well. I know there was a lot of disconnects in the earlier stages of that feature race, so we're going to make sure that we don't get those again. This game's so broken, isn't it? Why can't it just be a nice, simple, no problem system? Just work. I would trust EA Sports with this more than I trust Codemasters. Honestly, it's embarrassing, isn't it? No. That's not right, is it? That's not right. That is the wrong order. So, I think we're going to have to restart again. I can't believe this. We've got the grid wrong. Completely wrong. Totally and utterly wrong. Pretty much the only position that's right there is Arnold. They forgot to reverse the grid. So that's a problem. I mean, that's what it'll start with anyway. You know that. But yeah, that is the feature race grid, not the sprint race grid. Because Arnold, yes, he's on pole. Let's not take it off him. It's correct, but we've got the wrong grid. Because that is you'd think a sprint race would be capable of reversing the grid, wouldn't you? Otherwise, what's the point of doing a sprint race? You know? Gonna have to wait and see on this one. But it is frustrating for the drivers, isn't it? I mean, Redman and Risky find themselves at the back of the grid again. They must be absolutely furious. And we've done lobbies before with the F2 guys. They don't, or for the F2 cars, we never have this issue where it doesn't do the sprint lobby or sprint race grid. It always reverses to the top 8. It's pretty simple stuff. They must have got a selection on the settings wrong. But they are saying they can't fix it. Are you kidding me? What's the point of that? If they can't fix it, then what's the point of having a sprint race? You might as well just made it a 100% feature race and just gone with that, you know? They want to vote on what to do with the sprint race results after the race. We might as well not race it then. You're going to vote on what to do. I guess we're going to have to have a messed up sprint race then. 12 laps, completely wrong grid. I guess we're going to have to work with what we've got, which is a shame. We don't really need to look at the... Don't need to look at tyres. We can have a look at penalties. Penalties are probably the more useful thing to look at here. But here we go again. Arnold on the right and Creeper on the left. Dark Shadow is jumped the start. Luckily, the same hasn't happened to anyone else, and we are away for the sprint race. Arnold leads away again and holds it down to turn 1 again, but there's a lot more movement in further down. They're getting a bit more confident in the braking zones, aren't they? NK Boy really launched one now and is still moving on up, trying to get himself up the grid. Jacko all over the show. Debris flying off in the background there. I don't know, there's a car out there and there's someone's just lost their front wing on a brake marker board. Pretty embarrassing. How have you done that? We're going side by side with Vitinho and Corey. Corey already up 5 positions on that start. Pretty impressive stuff for him. He'll be absolutely loving life. Pete though, looking like he's struggling already. He's got MK4 challenging him. Look at that, they're really going for it. Cam's still disconnected. Hopefully Waste recognises that as he goes right around the outside. There's going to be contact. There's a think Cam's disconnected. He has a big X over his name. Weird one. But who's got front wing damage then? I suspect Jacko has some. Indeed, he does have some. And someone went to a brake marker board as well. That must have been Baza. And Corey is ahead of MK4 now to P4 already. He wants to do the double here and win the feature race and the sprint race as well. Obviously, we'll do the whole Grand Slam. But he's only got to make 3 more positions at the moment, and he was showing pretty good pace in the first run, wasn't he? Brandon, podium setter last time, up to P6 already, and Arnold leads across the line to start lap 2. This time not a second ahead, only half a second ahead, and I'm sorry man, I hate this game so much. Can you just do an order correctly, for goodness sake? As NK Bourne and Corey go side by side again, Corey is ahead. And this game, honestly, I want to break something. We'll just fix the order, man. Who's fighting for what? I don't know, because you can't decide who's where. Is that race really up to 11th or is he higher, you know? Coutinho's gone from 4th all the way down to about 15th or 16th, or maybe it's 14th, I don't know. There's a Yuri gone off the track in the background. There was also a full front wing missing, or at least a lot of front wing missing for Redman. Safety car is out. Gives them a chance to pit with the damage, but I don't expect you'll see anyone else in with them. And Yuri is out of the race at turn 5. And safety car on lap 2, and well, it took us 4 laps last time to sort it out. Hopefully we don't do that, because that would take us halfway through the sprint race. You don't want to spend a third of the sprint race under the safety car, do you? So grid are a lot closer at this stage than they were last time, so should be easy enough. Waste is 10th. Who's made those decisions on the start? There's only one penalty to talk about, so we can't just look quickly at position change, because Codemasters, they won't let us multitask. We can't look at more than one thing at once. Mind you, they can't even get the flaming order right. So yeah, as I suspected there, Waste, most positions gained, Risky and TC up there with him as well, and Corey of course too. So that's what they've all done. Shouldn't be seeing any pit stops here, but I think Pete was just trying to surprise someone. I don't know who he's trying to surprise other than himself. Bit of a pit stop, but okay. Obviously Red Max would be in the pits. Look how long this is going to take, this pit stop. It's beyond belief how long a pit stop takes in that F2 car. I mean, who thought 37 mph down this pit lane was too slow, or was too fast, or anything above it was too fast? You know what I mean? Who? Just who? Look at that, we're still changing tyres. And we're still in the pit lane 35 seconds later. And yeah, that's still what an F2 stop takes, and that's the problem now, because we're going to take 2 or 3 laps for him to catch up to the pack, because the flaming safety car thinks this is F1 cars. But well, maybe it is more just at the pit lane, or pit stops are just so slow, I don't know. But it doesn't feel like it should take this long. And West has had a collision with Risky, they both got penalties, and it's Risky's front wing is going missing. That was in the turn 10, I think. And Yuri's left the session after his retirement. He decides he wants to give up. I don't mind. I don't think he minds leaving. He's already out of the race, but he doesn't want to watch it. He's given up on the race. He's going to do something, and is that going to be damage? It looks like it's damage. It's Dexter. Certainly hit the wall as he spun off, and that'll be a new front wing for him. That's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? And there's, I think, more going on. There's all sorts going on up here. Why did Wace is sitting third or fourth? What's going on? There's been so many position changes. He's lagging again, that's why. What's going on in this race? Mr. John, who's a pit lane entry for some reason, he's been mugged off. He's been mugged off. Risky's mugged him off. I don't know why they're pitting them. Why is Mr. John in the pit? What's he in for? It's a sprint race, you don't have to pit, surely. I mean, obviously it's for softs, but why pit in the first place, you know? Oh well, just means they'll have to take even longer in the safety car. Okay, it's changed the front weight, even though there's no visual damage, I guess there was damage. And there will be soft tyres that go on, eventually. Who's that in the pits again? Is that Red Man in the pits again? He hasn't pitted it again, has he? Ah, softs. He's decided he wants a set of softs. Dark Shadow has crashed, by the way. Something's gone wrong for him. He's sitting on the exit of the pit lane. I assume he's crashed. Maybe he's retired and the car's put him there. But either way, he's out of the race. Wace is out of the race as well. So there's been something going on there between those two. I don't think we're ever going to get this race restarted because we're back in the same situation we were 5 minutes ago. Well, I say 5 minutes, 2 maybe 3 minutes ago. That's how long a lap takes to get around here. And yeah, we're losing valuable race time, but we've got to have a chance to put the tyres up now because we've got 4 people all at the back, all on the softs. No one else has pitted. Going to take them because are we going to get anybody else into the pit lane? Because you get one more in, it'll add another lap, you know, with the safety car. I never thought it would take this long. We've got Baku next week. I'm suddenly not looking forward to that one as much as I was when I first saw it was on the calendar, because we all know what Baku's like, and it's such a long circuit. I hope Jess doesn't race, because I will start screaming. You know, because I did it before. And if we thought the safety car debacle there was bad enough, it's going to be even worse there if we have the safety car doing this again. There's nothing really you can do to stop it doing this. You can tell that F2 was a bit of an afterthought, so I might just have a little laugh and wait for this to come in. And yeah, they should catch up by the end of the lap, but like I said, we lost 3 or 4 laps just waiting for people to catch back up after the pit stops. Pit stops shouldn't take 2 or 3 laps to recover from, which is a bit of a shame. Doesn't know when they're crashing as well on the safety car. Safety cars really, they're not enjoying them too much. I mean, the good news is it can't really go much worse than this next time out, can it? We've had all the DCs, we've had all of the crashes, we've had all the stuff happening under safety car. We've had all the restarts and stuff, so yeah. Messy start, I guess, for these guys, but they'll be learning things, and hopefully someone will be able to figure out how to make a sprint race lobby work properly. I don't really know what the issue was, but yeah, we'll see what all they can do for next time, right? But let's just get to the end of this one, yeah? Hopefully we get some good racing, but yeah, a bit of an unfortunate start to the season, but we've still got 8 more races to enjoy, and of course the rest of this one, so yeah, let's wait for the safety car to come in and see what we've got. Will those lights go off? Yes, they will. We're ready for a restart, folks. Gonna have the second half of the race. 7 laps of racing here. Still to go. Hopefully, it'll be a good restart. Look at all the weaving. If I see a single car spin, honestly. Oh no, it's gone again. Same as the last time, and this time they still haven't quite clocked. They don't clock it when he goes. But you can't pass yet, it's too early to pass, so they can't even take advantage. And big slide for Khalifa. Khalifa might suffer for that as we head down towards turn 1. Kate closing. Khalifa moves over the right hand side, and Pete doesn't really brake late enough. He's hoping that Khalifa might outbrake himself, but that doesn't look like it's happening. And Khalifa, I think, should stay ahead, because it's quite difficult to get the run up this hill. We've seen it already. But Corey's also having a little look. He's arrived, and Pete's going right around the outside. There's going to be contact. Khalifa might find himself facing backwards again there, but he does certainly lose the podium position. And Corey is up to 3rd. 2 more to make, and he'll have done the double in the first round, with something which I can't say has ready in the round, but could happen today. And look at that, we've got Brandon now wanting to go right around the outside, and he's done it. He's done it actually. I'm surprised he finds so much grip out there. But Khalifa down to 6th. It's been an awful restart for him. Surely he can make that place back, though he does. And now Storm wants to try and get by his teammate. Hoping he gets a bit of that toe off the back of Khalifa. It's not really happening actually. And so we have to sit back and wait. TC having a much better run than the first race, mainly because he hasn't got any damage yet. He doesn't have to worry about fixing the damage that he don't have. That's interesting to see what he does. He's got that car, and Jim isn't where it is going to start to have a nosebleed. And hopefully he can stay there. That's a car in Narnia. I think that was Baza taking the outer circuit, but looks like he thought he'd have a little peek out there and see what it's like. And TC, I've just had to say it, haven't I? He's got it all wrong to the last corner, got a penalty and lost good positions. Corey though, you can see Arnold's getting away from him. He needs to get past Pete. He wants to have a chance at winning the double. That would be superb. And he's going to have a chance of taking the 2nd place. Pete's had a poor run on that first 2 and 3 corners. Corey might just have to sit back though. We're not getting DRS just yet. He needs it. He needs it to get by. Looks of it. Some fighting still going on out there. This is John for P12. And maybe that's a P11 now, but he'll fall back down. There's contact. That's going to be a potential safety car. Red Matt out of the race. A virtual safety car. No actual wheel damage. He's just hit the wall so hard with the front that it's done him in. Also, they were fighting over that last point position, weren't they? P12. and yeah, ended in the wall. So that was a success. Did Risky get any damage? I believe it was Risky that had the contact with Mr. John. Fell back a little bit, but they both got away with no damage. It was all Redman, so he picked all the damage up. And Redman, not too impressed. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Now, we're going to get ready for green quickly because we've got this freeway scrap here for second position. They'll all also be obviously Isle of Arnold. They're feathering the throttle. I wonder if we're about to go green now. They're feathering it. They're waiting to go. And Storm is sped under the... I think Risky has as well. Or maybe we got a penalty for something else. I'm not too sure. But we're away anyway. Let's check that penalty. Yeah, it's a drive through him as well. Here comes Corey. DRS is enabled up towards turn 4, so let's see if he can have a little look when he gets there. He's close enough here to get that DRS comfortably, and what an exit he's having. He's through already, surely. Although there's that more Pete just having internet problems. The last thing you need when you're trying to pass him is for his internet to start going all do-lally. I think it's gone all do-lally, which is really not enjoyable for us watching, or for him trying to make the overtake, because we want to watch a pass, he wants to make the pass. We want to see if Corey can win this race. He might try something audacious. It's JACKOCAR. You're going to try anything audacious, it's going to be here. And Risky's gone off. Ironically, at the same place where he and Redman had contact, he hasn't reached quite the same fate, but the amount of points he'll score will still be 0. And he's done that for no reason. Angry man, he's an angry man. Corey still looking for the exit here because he knows he's got the pressure from behind. And outside line into there, maybe not the best idea, but unless he can cut back, which he is doing, and he's down the inside, he's got 4 to go. And his contact, potential puncture there as well for NK Bourne. But that's Pete's front wing going. Front right tyre got hit of NK Bourne, but luckily no puncture. Oh, they do make contact though, and Pete lost part of his car and has lost the podium. Now, can Corey make a run for it? Can he win this race and do the double? Even after being put down in 10th rather than 8th on the grid, he wants to have a go at it. NK Bourne is fighting away and there's contact. Where's the front wing gone? Surely there is a front wing missing. I refuse to believe he didn't lose any front wing there. Ah yeah, he lost wing. NK Bourne definitely lost some front wing there. Risky, speeding in the pit lane and retires front wing. So Khalifa, only one out of this fight, apart from Corey of course, he hasn't got front wing damage, so he must be able to find his way through. Oh, look at that, all slipping inside, but no way past. These cars are not easy to race, or not as easy as I thought they were to race by the looks of it. Oh, look at that. Really not having a good time, Khalifa. But can he catch and pass Pete without breaking the front wing? It appears when these lot are all fighting, they can't quite resist it. Corey not really making many inroads on Arnold, by the way. It's sort of staying at that 2 seconds, 2.2. I mean, it's going down, but it's not going down quickly at all, is it? It needs to go down much quicker than that. Here comes Khalifa. Corey needs to catch as quickly as Khalifa's catching, you know? As we start lap 10. And Khalifa will get past Arnold. Says the fastest lap. Surely Corey will have a response at some point. But Khalifa is up into the podium just as he said. And well, NK Bourne, front wing damage versus front wing damage. Although saying that, Pete isn't done with Khalifa yet, and Khalifa had to leave him the space. He should though still be okay. But Pete has got the run. Pete has got the run. And NK Bourne, well, he'll be enjoying that. He'll be enjoying watching it. He'll even enjoy Khalifa's defence, which is basically get out of the way. Not really how I would defend. I wouldn't just get out of the way of my rival, but very well. CC and Jacko fighting away. Jacko in P8 at the moment. There's a penalty for TC. Oh, penalty's going on, and Khalifa into turn 8 has had a look at Pete, but Pete still holds his grind, he still holds his third place. He wants to keep the podium. He's only got to hold on for 2 more laps at the end of this. Can he do it? Can NK Bourne be challenged? Brandon just got, oh, Narnia. That is Narnia, and that is Jacko. Luckily, he's got quite a big gap to Mr. John behind. So don't have to worry too much about Narnia becoming troublesome. It's just the one place, but yeah, Brandon's got a penalty, but Tina's not quite got past him yet, so I don't think anyone from 6th downwards is going to be able to fight for the podium. So it's Pete, it's Khalifa, or it's NK Bourne. Who gets that 3rd place? We'll find out because we're going to watch it. It's going to be very interesting to watch as well. Arnold and McCoy look like they're pretty secure in their positions. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. As Arnold continues to set fastest laps in the race, he wants that extra bonus points. Here comes Khalifa down towards turn 1. Pete just hasn't got the straight line speed because the DRS is making it difficult for him to keep in contention. So it's all about the braking zone, and that's what's keeping him in play right now. But surely Khalifa's through now, and Pete, he has a DRS though. He has the DRS. I said it, he doesn't really have it in a straight line. He's also struggling with the front wing, so he might have to do it on the brakes. Khalifa knows that. And so he defends the inside line, and Pete has not got the right line around there whatsoever. He's lost the podium. I doubt to be able to get it back with the front wing down. I just think Khalifa by the next DRS or even by the next heavy braking zone, he'll have made enough of a gap to make a dive bomb not viable anymore for Pete. And indeed, Pete falling behind. It's time for NK Bourne to try and pass as well, I think. Now, they've both got front wing damage, but they've got it on different sides. Pete has it on the right hand side, and NK Bourne has it on the left hand side. Whose front wing damage is going to affect them more? Looks like Pete's going to fall out of the DRS range on Khalifa before long. Corey's on a quick lap at the moment compared to Arnold. Might snatch the fastest lap off him. And look at that, Pete, I think you can say is the one struggling more with that front wing damage. Really understeering a lot around here at the moment, and NK Bourne must be seeing a lot of encouragement from that. Does Corey though set the fastest lap of the race? He's certainly closing a lot on Arnold on that lap. Will he set that fastest lap? Yes he will, and as we start the final lap, that fastest lap point is going the way of the man who finished 2nd place. Or finishes 2nd place, the number 2 in number 2. Looking for his 2nd podium of the season already in 2 races. He has had a 1 and a 2 and a fast lap as well. And it'll be the 2nd race on the road, and number 2 at the finish takes the fastest lap. We love these little stats, we've already got plenty of them. Now it's fight to be watched because Brandon is fighting on. Drop the controller. I'm fighting my own controller. Hold on. No, don't do this to me. Right. Back to normal. I was so excited there, I dropped my controller. We were watching Brandon and Vitinho fighting away. Someone's gone to Narnia, that might well have been Baza. But that was a good fight. We got the main part of it on camera, luckily. Now, Khalifa's just lost a lot of time. Has he dropped his instruments of control as well, I wonder? Or is his tyres gone? What's he done? He's struggling a bit, isn't he? Pete has just clawed that gap down. I'd be surprised if he gets the podium. I would be very surprised. But if Khalifa struggles, maybe it's just a bit of a slide. We knew he had issues with that earlier on. But surely he holds on to it. No way he loses it from now unless he makes a mistake. But I said he shouldn't lose it, and then he lost half a second to a second. So you know, let's just cut off this because we have the race winner. Here comes Arnold to the line. The check flag is there. He wins the sprint race here in Bahrain, and Corey, 2nd place, fastest lap to boot. The championship leader, having a lovely time. Khalifa 3rd and into the wall as well. Pete 4th, NK Bourne 5th, Brandon 6th, Vitinho in 7th. Jacko just passes TC on the line and moves up to 7th, so that's Vitinho 8th and TC 9th. And then you'll see Dexter in 10th. Mr. John might join his teammate in the wall in 11th. Baza Thompson 12th. I'm just waiting for Storm and for Cam. There is Storm crossing the line, and yeah, I sort of suspected that he wasn't here. Still calm, and yeah, he wasn't. And that's it. That is the first round of the season. Obviously, a round has 2 races, technically. So, yeah. Celebrations for the Cyber Junior team. They lost the first race thanks to the safety car. Bad decision on the safety car, but they got it second time round, and it is Arnold on the top step of the podium, spraying the rose water. And Khalifa, the home man, on the podium as well, with Corey, the challenger leader, in there to boot as well. We'll confirm the order then for the race. There's no point looking at that overall score because we scored differently. So Arnold wins from Corey second. He will get +1 for the fast lap. Then Khalifa, Pete, NK Bourne, Brandon, Jacko, Patino, TC, Dexter, Mr. John, Baza, Storm, Cam, Risky, Red Matt, Waste, Dark Shadow, and Yuri. Remember, only the top 12 get points here for the sprint race, and then just to give it a feature race if you missed it. Corey won from Red Matt, Brandon, NK1, Risky, Mr. John, Storm, Arnold, Khalifa, Yuri, Baza, Pete, Dexter, TC, Cam, Jacko, Waste, Dark Shadow, Patino. And so that's us. That is the first round of the JACKOCAR F2 season. I'll be certainly back next week. Hopefully we'll have our second commentator then. We don't know who that's going to be. Like I say, it's a bit of a revolving door of commentators. As long as their mics work, they can be here and we can have some epic commentary from 2 people. And yeah, Azerbaijan, can't wait. It's going to be a good one as long as we have all the issues sorted. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I'll certainly see you next week. Hopefully we'll have some beautiful voice alongside me to make me look good. So safe travels everybody. Stay safe. Wear your masks. All that good stuff. And take care.